How did the Fitch downgrade of the U.S. debt affect the real estate market? Next. Yes, we're going to go over that as well as where are rates at. I know the 10-year bond just had jumped up, but did it really affect rates? And how is that downgrade really affecting the market overall here directly from the real estate side? All next on Real Estate Daily. Welcome everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in real estate, housing, and the mortgage market. Now, today's a very special day because we're going to go over how that debt, how the debt that continues to pile on is affecting every aspect of our lives. Absolutely is. Let's jump right into it. This is on Twitter. This is a Kobesi letter. Now, before I'm going to prefix this. Once that went on, once the Fitch downgrade happened, and this is not the first time it's happened. It happened many, many years ago, about 20 years ago. And immediately the U.S. government with the S&P 500 then turned around and bam, decided, hey, we want to go ahead and investigate. So they had an investigation against them and they raised the rate back again. So it's almost like market manipulation. We're going to see how far or how long Fitch is going to keep that downgrade going. So they went from AAA to AA plus, which is a rating right below. That's what Fitch rating is with the debt here in the United States. Now, we had a lot of people come out, including Joey B. We just had Janet Yellen come out and say, I don't understand what's happening. Well, Janet, you don't understand what anything's happening. You've never owned a business, and you're running the biggest business in the world. And some of the biggest bank collapses of all time has happened on your watch. You've been terrible at what you're doing. And now, what you are doing, which isn't much except for shipping money off to a big WAR over in Europe, that's all you've been good for because you haven't been good for anything else. This is what's happened. Kobesi letter just in. The S&P 500 has now erased $820 billion in market cap since Fitch downgraded the U.S. credit rating. Meanwhile, the 10-year note yields is now at the highest level since October of 2022. So if I actually add that together, let me go one step further. Let me finish that. Yet again, we're paying the price for debt ceiling crisis. So what's happened? First part here is if you have a 401k, and I have just advocated this forever now, you shouldn't have it with a money marketer, a money maker out there. They are not looking after your best interest. You pay them whether they do good or they do bad. And a lot of them don't have your interest in mind because you don't look at those statements. You don't look at it every day. If you were in crypto, how many people in crypto are looking at what's happening with their coins on a daily basis? You'll get quarterly reports, number one, and you don't even look at it. You're just banking on whatever financial institution like BlackRock or Vanguard to increase the amount, year over year. So when you retire, you're going to have a nest egg. Now, let's go one step further. They had a survey and they asked millennials and boomers how much money do they need to survive after they retire, and that was $1.8 million. Well, I can guarantee, I'm not going to guarantee it, not financial advice, but majority of people are not going to be there, not at all. And especially if you leave it in with these people, with BlackRock, they only care about ESG. They use their weight for their own agenda, not to increase your bags. I cannot say that any longer. So look at this. So the second that they downgrade U.S. debt, we almost lose $1 trillion in the S&P 500. That's your 401k. Number two, the 10-year note yield is now at the highest level since October 2022. In reality, that's a big plus, right? The higher the yield, the lower the interest rates. We're going to see interest rates here in a moment. Interest rates are not doing what this is happening because of the lower debt rating. It says yet again, we're paying the price for debt ceiling crisis. Guys, we have understood whoever you vote for makes a difference. If you're voting for one reason, ESG or climate change, it doesn't matter. If the rest of the countries in the world doesn't matter what they do, or 10% of them, doesn't matter. China, Russia, they mine for everything. They don't care about the environment. They have more land mass than any other country. Get that through your heads. It doesn't matter what we do. It's not changing it. So if you continue to do that, you're going to continue to pay the price at the pump, at your interest rates, on your credit cards, on all your debt is going up. And so that happened in 2022 when we changed regimes. Everyone, an average household has now spent $450 more for the exact same a month for the exact same thing they did the day before they took office. Let's jump to the next one. It says, this is kind of funny little thing that's been going around right now. Looks like a homeowner reacts what a realtor did in her home. Looks like a realtor was doing an open house here. And so what does he do? He kind of scurries through your home, and then he turns around, opens a refrigerator, and then just opens her milk, and then turns around and chugs it. Guys, this is ridiculous. Okay, I can't stress this anymore as well. Okay, if you go and hire a real estate agent and you don't know their background, you don't know how many sales they had, how many listings they've had, how many sales, how many listings to what they sell the sell price for. If you don't have the professionalism, they answer their phone. They do open houses, and they're professional. They're not in shorts, right? Shorts. Maybe certain people like shorts. You got to at least wear jeans and not look like a bum, okay? You got to know who you sign a contract with. And when you sign that contract, you are legally bound to that person for the length of the contract. Now, can you get out of it? Possibly, if both sides agree. But what real estate agent is going to agree to this? So he chugs the milk, turns around, and now it looks like he's getting a $15,000 fine for this. I actually think that he didn't have a fiduciary duty, which he does to the seller. Well, this breaks his fiduciary duty because he's not doing what's best for his client. He's doing what's best for himself. Kind of ridiculous about the whole situation. Little funny, but it is a big topic today. All right. CNBC came out today, actually yesterday, and said mortgage demand for home buyers drops for the third straight week as interest rates rise. We know this. There's just no inventory, guys. No inventory. Mortgage demand continues to go down. Now, mortgage demand includes not only purchases, but obviously it does refis. There's just no refis out there. All I know is that I've had a lot of people say all of a sudden, all the banks that are out there servicing their loans are now receiving phone calls saying, hey, do you want cash out? Do you want cash out? Do you want cash out? Why? Because we have quite a lot of money, and most of us have quite a lot of money in our homes, right? We have a lot of equity. Be very cautious. We're in a huge debt crunch right now. Our government officials, who we need to vote out, obviously, continue to spend money. They continue to allow the Fed to raise rates, which are going to have you lose your jobs. We're at $1 trillion debt in credit card. Just interest payments are at $1 trillion. We're seeing that most people, and as I reported last couple of days, have $1,000 or less in their savings account. This whole economy is collapsing around it, but the elites who have all the money, right, don't look at it that way. They want to continue to make that separation, and this is actually one of the reasons why. All right, how do we know the elites have money? Let's go take a look at it. Orange County home prices hit record high. Guys, record high. Okay, Los Angeles remains 3% below its peak. Think about that. Anyone out there saying that we are in a bubble? How is this a bubble? Okay, how is this a bubble? If you walked in my shoes and you said, hey, Troy, just follow me around. There's multiple offers on anything that's halfway decent out there. There's still people, there's probably thousands and tens of thousands or hundred thousands of people that are sitting on the sidelines because they want the interest rates to go down before they buy, because they're scared right now. There's no inventory. They don't want to have multiple offers. But I'll tell you, and I've said this before, when we pass under 6, it's going to have another flood coming into real estate in the United States. And when we get into under 5%, we're going to have sellers sell. And they are going to want to cash out, whether it's just a generation that needs to go into nursing homes or retirement communities. We're going to have that happening, and they're going to be selling their homes, and they're going to, or it's people that want to move up. They've had two, another child or two, and the house is too small, but they can't get out of that 2% interest rate lock for the home they have in right now and jump into 7%. None of that makes sense. So with that being said, we're at the peak of home prices here in Orange County. All right, let's jump into it. We talked about the Cabesi letter from the beginning. We talked about, the 10-year bond, just keeps pumping up. We should see interest rates go down. And what do we don't see? Interest rates go down. Why? Because that Fitch rating shows that the U.S. debt is not good debt. In fact, I think it's a lot worse than it is, but I think the pressure from this administration on the ratings company like the S&P, Moody's, and Fitch, they keep putting pressure on it because it is a political stance and it is not a true stance. Look at the amount of money that's being spent by the U.S. government. When you look at the unemployment records, we're continually seeing the largest employer in the United States every single month is the U.S. government. Why is the U.S. government the largest? They should be cutting spending, and they spend more. This is a planned demolition. They want you sooner or later to live off stimmies that they're going to give you by printing more money, and they're going to control your lives. I know it's crazy. It's not it's a, what do you call it? A theory. It's a, I don't know, conspiracy theory that I have. Right? But a lot of you out there are seeing it. More and more are you seeing it out there, and more are you rebelling against it. You guys have a fantastic day. I am out. See you tomorrow.